It's now my pleasure to introduce two of the sisters from the greatest religious order on earth, Sister Joseph Andrew and Sister Martin Therese of the Sisters of Mary, Mother of the Eucharist.
Thank you so very much, Nick, and really thank you to each one of you. What a privilege it is to be up here and to be able to think and pray together about what burns inside all of our hearts. And really, and on behalf of my entire Dominican community, Sisters of Mary, Mother of the Eucharist, don't you love it? Yeah, me too. Yeah, we're very pro-life, you know. But one thing that I do want to say is the gratitude that we have for all of you who have the courage to stand up for truth. That's a very Dominican thing. Of course, it's a very Catholic thing too. And it's a very thing of God, because God is truth. And also on behalf of Mother Assumpta, who is at a rally like this in Austin, Texas with our sisters down there today, so I get to take her place. In a recent conversation with a doctor friend just about 3 days ago, who has read through the Obamacare plan, which he says is very thick, and the HHS mandate, he is terrorized by what he has read and by the general ignorance of people who don't get the fine print that is all over Obamacare. And so he turned his plaque towards me that he had on his desk, and he said, "Read this." And I read, "The law of inadequate paranoia. No matter how bad something appears, when you really look at it, it's always worse." I thought that's very appropriate. And I want to read the first verse of a poem by an Air Force cadet. And I think it's very beautiful because as we begin with the Pledge of Allegiance and as we sing our national songs and our hearts just swell with pride for being American and the graces that God has given us, I think this captures something very special. I watched the flag pass by one day and it fluttered in the breeze. A young soldier saluted it, and then he stood at ease. I looked at him in uniform, so young, so tall, so proud. With hair cut square and eyes alert, he'd stand out in any crowd. I thought, how many men like him have fallen through the years? How many died on foreign soil? How many mothers' tears? How many pilots' planes shot down? How many foxholes were soldiers' graves? No, freedom isn't free. Our nation's forefathers declared that the government of the United States of America was instituted to secure certain unalienable rights bestowed on us by our Creator. They said the obvious, didn't they? Today, these rights, as we all know, are under widespread and unrelenting attack as a consequence of the denial of God throughout society. But we all know a genuine restoration must occur, and its effectiveness rests first and foremost on our recognizing the sovereignty of God. He created us. You know, when I say the obvious, I always want to kind of just say, duh, like who didn't get it, you know, but we are His. He has given us these rights, and we must proclaim them in the streets as we are today, in the marketplaces, in every church, every school, every institution, because they are God's divine order for our society. And it's our responsibility to stand brave and to shout to the world the words written by Thomas Jefferson. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Born and unborn. Amen. That they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. You know, a few people in a house called White need to reread this, don't you think? Did you know that some years after the American Revolution, John Adams pointed out to Thomas Jefferson that nothing he had written in this declaration was really new? And Jefferson quickly agreed, because we innately know, as the great world theologian and Thomas Aquinas, the great Dominican, teaches us, we were created in freedom for freedom. But we also must know that freedom isn't free in a fallen world. And so, as it is my privilege to address to you what is on every single heart present here today, and I want to mention that I learned patriotism first from the best place any of us can, from my own parents, from your parents. Both my parents had known the horrors of World War II. In fact, my father had known it firsthand as an agent in the OSS, the precursor to today's CIA. 100% Polish, his parents had taught them, when they came to the America, that they were to stand up for the freedoms no matter what it would ask. And war came, and so he enlisted. And his independent and Eastern European mindset proved very valuable to the U.S. Army. So he agreed, and he was written off as dead. The papers were served to his parents that he had died in a battle in Africa. And he emerged with a new identity, a new name, an OSS agent, in probably the worst war the world has ever known. Let me tell you just one story that I will always remember. He spoke to us after many, many years when he felt he had the freedom to be able to explain some of this, and he wanted us to get it. Of the night that he was holding at gunpoint 3 Japanese spies off the coast of Florida. And as he held his one gun in his right hand and just kept going back between these 3 spies that he had caught, his other hand was in his pocket praying his rosary. And as he prayed that rosary for 3 hours before the military police came, he said he got it. He knew America would win the war because he knew that if he had been either of those 3, he would have given his life for the cause he so believed in, and the other 2 and the cause would have gone on. But none of these evidently believed that strongly. Courage. Isn't it great? The whole world's getting in on it.
Yeah. Sam Adams.
Mayday. Okay, during that same war in 1943, an American historian wrote that the roots of freedom as a nation were not planted by any continental congress, but rather by the states, where the issue was threshed out in popular assemblies and meetings like ours today. It's ours. And he goes on to say Congress was much slower to pick up on this. And finally, a Massachusetts representative, Joseph Haley, in frustration wrote to Sam Adams in the Congress and said, "The people are ahead of you." Today is an age in which we need heroes. In the words of another British economist, Josiah Charles Stamp, who died in the London Blitz in 1941, he said, "It may be on occasion easy to dodge our responsibilities, but we will not dodge the consequences of dodging our responsibilities. Rather than dodging, let us accept this moment in which God willed us to live and to send our message to Washington, D.C. Mr. President, the people are way ahead of you." We value our freedoms, and since we know they don't come freely, We beg God that we will all be prepared to pay the price, if that should be in the divine will, to stand with the countless soldiers, heroes, saints, and martyrs through the ages, in union with the one who hung on Calvary, because freedom isn't free. We stand with the one who would rather die than spend an eternity without any one of us. God bless you. Thank you, and I have with me Sister Therese, who wants to share with you a very important message that means the world to all of us.
2 weeks ago, yesterday, I became an American citizen. And I can't think of a better time to do that. While many people would question, why would a Catholic religious sister want to become an American citizen at this time when religious freedom is being attacked so vigorously? And I think it's exciting. We get to stand up for something. This country is about freedom and truth and liberty for all. So I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, sisters.